Hey guys, this is Ed with CMC Reptiles. Want to do a quick video showing you how I care for my sulcata tortoises. I have two male tortoises just about 7 years old, weighing about between 40-50 pounds. And what I feed them, especially towards the fall when there's not a lot of grass available for them to graze. So I start feeding more of the Missouri tortoise pellets right here. So this is great for them. It has everything they need. And a lot of times tortoises don't like eating this stuff if it's dry. So what I do is I wet it down a little bit to make it soft. And then I'll add this stuff right here, the crested gecko food with probiotics. They have all different flavors. This is banana and plum. Tortoises love it. So I just put a little cap full of that, mix it in the food. And so I'll add the calcium powder. And even once in a while, I'll add these vitamins. It's a multivitamin for all reptiles, amphibians. So just to give them that extra boost of health, help them get through the winter time, because we are coming into fall, temperatures are dropping, and I want to make sure these guys are good through the winter. Because if it's a hard, cold winter, they shut down pretty much. They go a little bit dormant, and they don't eat as much. So I want to make sure, you know, they're full, they're packed with a lot of vitamins, and they'll get through the winter time no problem. All right, here's Dorito right here. So we're gonna give him, basically just put their food right on the concrete. It actually also helps keep their beak down. So I'll give them a handful of pellets, and they start chowing on these. So I give them a little over a cup. And with that extra food on them, they actually love this stuff. And again, I do wet it down to make it pretty soft. Adds a little bit of water intake for them too. And we got company. This guy knows his food is out here, so he's coming to join the party. And we'll give him his share. It's pretty early in the morning, so they're still kind of warming up their body. And then give him a cupful also. And they get a mixture of greens, a mixture of a little bit of everything. So these guys will sit there and chow down on their pellets. And you can easily overfeed these guys, so you don't want to give them too much food. And having this whole yard, they have a big yard. I mean, it's a big yard they're constantly walking on. They have some area that has dirt on the other side of the yard. Most of it's concrete. And the nice thing about having concrete, it keeps their nails grinded down pretty good, as you can see right here. So as they walk, they're dragging their nails, and it actually files their nails down. So I don't have to worry about having these extra long nails if they were just on a soft surface all the time. But they do love this stuff. And then later on in the afternoon, I'll give them some greens to chow on. During the spring, when there's tons of grass, I literally go out and get field grass so these guys could just chow on some just orchard grass. And they get that for the first couple of months. And he's sitting on his chow right now. He's getting confused where it's at. There we go. So I'm gonna get out of their way, and I'm gonna give some chow to the other tortoises. All right, so here's the redfoots. I'm gonna feed these guys some pellets. And I wet theirs down too, so it gets nice and moist. These guys are also outside. And usually when it starts getting really cold, these guys will come in. So if it's too cold, you can see their enclosure. It's actually pretty big. It goes way, way in the back there and down, so they could get out of the hot sun if it gets too hot. I did have actually grass in here, but the grass already died. But these guys love the pellets too. And basically it's just Missouri brand exotic tortoise pellets. So it's great for the redfoots, it's great for the sulcatas. You could give it to Greek, Russian tortoises also. Leopard tortoises, they'll all eat it. And it pretty much has everything they need in it. So these guys stay out pretty much year round until the temps really start getting cold, and then I bring them in. And these guys are about full grown. They also about the same age, 6 years old maybe. They're both 6. One is a rescue, one I purchased at, I think, the Sacramento Reptile Show. Maybe I actually might have purchased it at Pomona, the Pomona show. So we got Leonardo and DiCaprio. And these guys also go to a lot of the educational programs and birthday parties, especially the winter ones. When I book parties in the winter, these two are the guys I bring rather than the sulcatas, because sometimes it's a bit too cold and those guys are pretty lethargic during that time of year. And that's kind of why you want to soften these pellets, because these guys just swallow it whole almost, and they could chew through it, as you can see right here, because it is pretty soft. But right now it's actually stuck a little bit on his beak. That's why he's having trouble. There he goes. But great form. Missouri products are great. I mean, rat food, goat food, pig food, they have everything. So that's all I feed them for the tortoise food. All right, guys, so here is the Central American wood turtle enclosure. I actually have 2 additions here I rescued about a month and a half ago. We got a Greek tortoise and a Russian tortoise. They were in pretty poor condition with overgrown beaks. And they were both kept in small fish tanks with not the proper lighting. So I've had them for a month and a half now. And the best thing, I know you can grind the beaks down. For that guy, pretty easy. This one, almost impossible, because he puts his head so far back in, you cannot get, you'd have to sedate him just to do it. So I felt the best thing was actually to put him outside. And in this enclosure, there's tons of brick, rock. And this guy has already seemed to get his beak filed down quite a bit on his own. I've actually seen him kind of gnawing on some of these rocks here. To help. It's almost like instinctively they know to do that, and they seem to be getting along pretty well. Not that you should keep tortoises and turtles together, but this guy's so small, he's not going to do much damage to these two. And they've been in here for a month now, and they seem to be getting along pretty good. I just felt this was the best position because this area gets full sun this time of day, which is late morning, and that's when they really need it. Right when they wake up from a cool night. Daytime temps are still in the high 80s, low 90s. We're coming into fall, so the nighttime temps are getting really cold. They're dropping in the 50s, and these guys are feeling it. So they're much more lethargic during the morning time. These guys, not so much, because they're used to the cooler weather. Being turtles, they like to come in their water bowl and soak in the morning time. But I got all kinds of tunnels for them where they hide, and they could dig under these panels I put up for them, and it works out pretty well. These guys have been in here for 2 years now, and they're doing great. And I've had these turtles I've had, God, probably 6 years, 7 years. These guys were all wild caught. Picked them up from Underground Reptiles. There's a couple still back there. There's 4 of them in here. A couple of them were rescues, but they're doing really good. One of these girls actually laid eggs. There was tons of eggs buried, but none of them were fertile. So the tegu got to have a nice snack. But these guys are doing great, and I'll keep you posted through the winter time on how I kind of prep them when the weather gets really cold. These guys are easy enough to bring in and just put them in a tote, because they do, I want to say, semi-brumate. They'll sleep, definitely, if it gets cold, especially the Russian. he'll go down deep, dig, and just stay buried through the winter. But you want to pump their food intake right before winter time, just like a bear would before hibernation. Get them lots of food. And then these guys, the tortoises, same thing. Their feeding habits already slowed down, I've noticed, because like I said, the mornings you can see the shadows in the yard now. Normally there wouldn't be that much shadow, but now that the sun's in a different position, these guys definitely are not eating as much. They could feel winter coming. So, but they're doing great. They're doing great. All right, guys. So I'll keep you posted through winter conditions on these guys and how I keep them in the winter time. But having them outdoors is one of the best things to do, especially when they get to be adults. These guys, you want to make sure you don't have any raccoons or possums sneaking in your yard, because they will get the turtles. We don't have that problem here. Plus I have that guy right there keeping an eye on things in the backyard, so I don't have to worry too much. All right, guys, so I'll keep you posted on these guys, and I'll talk to you later.